Welcome back to my office. In this week's video, I want to show you how I clean and maintain my office space on a weekly basis. I'm going to go into specifics. This video is going to be a little more in depth of showing you exactly how I dedicate time to clean my office space on a weekly basis. And usually it happens to fall on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday usually, because that's when I feel I have time to dedicate to do it. And then I can start the week fresh. So the first thing I'm doing is kind of initially putting away some items, clearing some items off my desk and the little side tables that I have here. So that includes like chargers, little random pens that are sitting out. This is going to kickstart the cleaning and the more deep cleaning that we have to do. Next, I'm turning off the electronics on my desk. So my keyboard, mouse pad, and mouse, I'm going to turn those off because I am going to clean them ever so gently with the Method all-purpose spray. So I just spritz a little bit of that onto a microfiber cloth, and then I very gently wipe the electronics and try to focus on the high touch areas specifically. So on a keyboard, that's going to be like the space bar, this mouse pad, the whole thing gets used basically. And then for the actual mouse, paying special attention to the places that are clicked and scrolled throughout. Next thing, I'm taking my MacBook here and also giving it a light wipe down. Again, this cloth is barely wet. It's just been spritzed with that spray. So I'm just wiping down the keyboard. And then I'm taking a thicker microfiber cloth. This is like an electronic wipe and it's a dupe of the Apple like polishing cloth. Not an exact dupe, but close. And I just gave that initial dry wipe, and then I'm taking some distilled water. Now, I normally don't do this, but this is one of the ways that Apple recommends to clean down their screens by taking water and a microfiber cloth. So I'm taking that to the screen of the laptop very gently to get rid of some of the smudging around the edges and then the center of the laptop. And this honestly does do a really nice job of polishing up your laptop without using harsh chemicals or anything like that. So on a weekly basis, I'm at least wiping down my electronics with a microfiber cloth and a little bit of cleaner, all-purpose cleaner. And sometimes I'll do that deeper clean with the screen cleaning action. Next, I'm just wiping down some of these other things that live on my desk. So my mouse pad, as well as my iPad stand and my laptop stand, they get a little dusty throughout the week, surprisingly. So making sure to get in the crevices there to clean them off. Now I'm moving on to actually cleaning my desk. I've cleared everything off my desk except for my monitor. That's kind of a pain to take on and off every time. Maybe if I was doing a deeper cleaning, I would do that. But I am just taking the Method all-purpose spray again, giving that a spritz on the desk, and then I'm taking my microfiber cloth. This is probably the same one that I was using on the electronics, and I just kind of fold it over to kind of like give it a fresh end to start with, if you know what I mean. And then just wiping that around the desk in circular motions to not leave any streaking. I also gave the monitor a light wipe, and then I went in with the polishing cloth again that I had already wet with distilled water. Again, I'm normally not doing that, but just because I had it, it was something extra that I could do this week. And then shifting the monitor around so that I can get any dust that may have accumulated underneath. I actually spend decent amount of time wiping down the desk to make sure that there are no streaks forming. So now that the desk is done, I'm moving on to this little IKEA filing cabinet that I have on the side. Not a filing cabinet, it's like storage drawers. So I'm wiping that down again with the same Method all-purpose cleaner. I've just taken everything off of it and kind of just getting the tops of the drawers there. To the third surface in this office, which is this little, I guess, office stand that holds my record player and speakers currently. I actually ended up moving these speakers to the desk, so you'll see that in a future video for sure. But I am just wiping the top of them, trying very carefully not to get them wet with this Method all-purpose cleaner again, and giving the surface of that little side table a quick wipe down as well. Next, to give the desk a little bit of a deeper clean, this is a standing desk, and I have a full review on this desk on my channel that I recently put out if you're interested in my thoughts on this desk. But the metal frame here gets dusty, so I'm wiping that down. Again, same cloth, same all-purpose cleaner. And then I also wipe down the standing desk mat that also collects dog hair throughout the week. It's funny how it all collects there, and then I just get to wipe it off. Next thing I'm doing is again taking the same cleaner and spritzing down the arms of my office chair. I definitely tried to give my office chair a quick wipe on a weekly basis as well. I'm sitting in it all week. I'm touching the handles. I'm moving the handles around. So it definitely does get dirty and was due for a wipe down. I also try to get in between like the different pieces of the desk chair because I was once given a hand-me-down desk chair and I went to clean in between those spaces in it. Like most desk chairs have these little spaces. And it was so dusty. It was like a thick layer of dust, like it had never been cleaned. So ever since then, I've just tried to make it a point to make sure that I'm actually dusting down those kind of smaller spaces on the desk chair that can still gather a lot of dust. Moving on to other surfaces in my room, a little storage unit that I use as a footrest, but also does have some things in it, and also wiping down the windowsills. And then moving on to high touch areas. So this is going to be doorknobs, door handles in the room, the entrance to the room, and the closet in the room. And then the light switch as well. I definitely don't do this every single week. I'm going a little more in depth to show you what can be done in this space in this video. I'd say at least once or twice a month I'm doing that. Next, moving on to the mirror that I have in the room, I'm using this spray glass cleaner and a certain type of microfiber cloth. It's like a special material that's more suitable for mirrors. And I've been kind of playing around with how I clean my mirrors. I was using Windex and paper towels before, and it would always end up streaky. And this seems to be working as a method so far. I've tried like wetting the microfiber cloth too, but dry works for now. So just wiping down the mirror. And then another thing that has to be taken care of in this office is plant care. Now I have no idea what I'm doing. I just kind of dump a little bit of water in and then I give them a quick spritz, like they're getting a little shower or something. I only have 2 plants and I guess they're still alive, so this seems to be working on a weekly basis. Now I'm going a little more in depth here and doing something I normally wouldn't do on a weekly basis, but it is something that I had been meaning to do, which is steam clean the furniture in this office. So this chair here is recently purchased from, I think, Home Goods, and I noticed after a couple of weeks, of short weeks using it, that it was a little smelly, a little musty. I think when furniture that you're getting off of a store floor, because it was a piece that was off the floor of the store, I just wanted to kind of give it a deeper clean at this point after a couple of weeks of using it. So going in with the steam cleaner, in my head, the steam from the steam cleaner is killing all of the bacteria and kind of the smells that are coming from this chair. And I definitely did notice an improvement after doing this. So I filled up the steam cleaner with, again, distilled water and spent a few minutes just kind of steaming it down. And then since I still had some water left over in that, I also went ahead and gave my office chair a quick steam cleaning as well, just to clean off any bacteria. I just think this is a good way to do so. But if you have different ideas on how you clean your furniture, definitely curious to know, like upholstery furniture, not something like a desk, but something with like a cloth or fabric type. Curious to know what you would do. So now desk has dried, I'm putting everything back. I think this is the best part when you can finally rearrange everything, put it all away because we are done wiping it down. Again, putting stuff back onto the IKEA side table here. And I'm just deciding which notebooks I want to keep out. I tried doing morning pages for like 3 days and they were good, but I can't keep up with them. So I'm deciding to put those notebooks away and just keep the books out here. Now I'm going to pick up items off of the floor because we're clearing the space for vacuuming. So anything that like isn't a piece of furniture and can be easily lifted out of the room, that's what I'm picking up and clearing out for the vacuuming process. Coming in with my Dyson V15. Love this vacuum so much. Highly recommend. And going throughout the entire room, definitely taking my time with this process, kind of doing it in rows and lines and making sure I get as much space as possible. These wood floors definitely gather a lot of hair, dust, dirt, and I'm always surprised by how much this vacuum picks up. I tried to get behind the mirror, but I couldn't really fit the vacuum back there, so. And making sure to move this chair out of the way so that I can get behind it. And I definitely do try to, again, this is a weekly task for me. It's not always as deep of vacuuming, but I think vacuuming on a weekly basis is essential to keep up and maintain my office space. Okay, so this is not a weekly thing, but I am going to be mopping the floors now with a reusable Swiffer cloth and then the Method wood spray here. This is in like the almond scent. Sometimes I do wet the cloth with hot water before. I just didn't do that this time. I'm just adding it on to the Swiffer and then giving the floor a spritz with that floor cleaner and then just going throughout the room and mopping everything up. This just kind of gives it like a nice clean smell. It's kind of like a finishing thing to do. And I'd say I try to do it at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. Of course, I'm showing you me doing it in this video so we can get a little bit of a deeper clean. But yeah, it always feels really nice to have a freshly mopped office space. And this one can kind of get in more cracks than the vacuum could, so I could get behind the mirror there that I couldn't get behind with the vacuum. And again, getting the corner by the chair. So I never really had an office space of my own before, and I definitely value having a clean space. So that's why I really enjoy this process. I put on music and I just make it part of my weekly ritual to do this. So after mopping and after a few minutes of drying, it is much sunnier in this room. It's gotten a little bit later in the day, and I'm going to put all of my stuff back in the room now. Everything that I had taken out is going back in the room now. Lighting a candle. One of my favorite candles, white pumpkin scent. And then something else I do to also kind of maintain the room throughout the week. I think this helps a lot. This is a air purifier and I usually just run it during the day. I'm not running it 24/7, but I think it helps a lot with any odors and like dust in the room. So there you have it. That is my room all maintained and cleaned. I'd say the core areas of a good office space deep cleaning, weekly cleaning routine is going to be dusting. Number one, making sure you're dusting your surfaces, your electronics, then going in with vacuuming, making sure you have some way to kind of pick up that dust. And then finally, the third element is going to be polishing. So that'll be your steam cleaning and your mopping on the floors. Not necessary, but definitely adds to a enjoyable, clean office experience. So now that my office is all clean, I can go ahead and do my office things, scrolling Pinterest, writing down to-do lists for the day, maybe reading a book. Who's to say? That has been it for this week's video. Thank you so much for coming along with me on my weekly office cleaning routine. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more weekly cleaning and lifestyle content from me.